Can I ask how your mother felt about you as a performer? Was she ever, when it became apparent that you were beginning to come through, you were succeeding, what was her reaction to that?
Oh, she was thrilled.
Was she?
Because we were great, great friends. And it was the same thing with my father. And they never stopped me, and they always encouraged me and gave me just smart advice, you know, for whatever advice counts. They knew that I wasn't going to suddenly turn around and say, forget it, I'll paint. You know, it wasn't going to happen.
Yeah.
I wanted to sing and dance and entertain. And it was marvelous. Unfortunately, you know, my mom passed away before Cabaret came out. So even before The Sterile Cuckoo came out. So she saw me on Broadway, but she never saw me.
You never saw
in
the
a film.
major successes?
No.
You must regret that, looking back on that.
No, I don't. I think that it's all okay. It turned out for everybody the way it should, you know.
Yeah, because your mum's was, of course, a tragic end.
Not really.
No?
No, I think that, well, see, people have a misconception about her whole life, let alone her end. She was a very strong, very kind of happy woman, and she didn't like that to be part of her public persona because she felt it was nobody's business. But she had a huge humor about everything. And even though she died young, she did everything she ever wanted to do in her whole life. She took every moment and she ate it. It was just marvelous.
Yes, you didn't, but it was sad that she went so young, wasn't it?
Oh, yes, that, well, yeah, sure. I was sad when my father went at 84. I mean, I'm sad when anybody goes.
Well, of course, yeah. Yeah. Let's have a look at that, because really the thing that really made it for you was that enormous success in Cabaret.
Yeah.
And then the Oscar as well. That possibly more tremendously decadent atmosphere.
Yes, well, it was Berlin in the 30s.
Berlin, I don't remember it myself, but let's have a little vignette. Surely now that I look at that, that's got a very rude ending to it, then.
Well, the whole thing is rude.
Yeah. If I'd heard that in time, I wouldn't have included that, you know.
You
Before the
wouldn't?
watershed, we don't break wind.
Well, I'm telling you, Joel Grey and I couldn't believe it when Fosse, who directed it, Bob Fosse directed it, wanted us to do all of these moves, and it was like this ritual dance and a lot of shaking of body parts.
Yeah.
And at first we were kind of shy about it. And suddenly he gave us this big lecture, and the next day Joel and I were just shaking everything we had, you know. And that's what he wanted.
Yeah. No, Bob Fosse, yeah. You've got such a good voice and everything. He's sorry you weren't around in the heyday of the musical, in the, you know, when they were doing South Pacific and all those wonderful musicals. I mean,
Sure. I think it would have been wonderful to be around then.
yeah.
But I've been awfully lucky. I mean, when you think of to have one film like Cabaret is incredible in one's career. But then to have New York on top of that, which is a whole different, you know, can of beans. But to have the songs from that written for you, I mean, that's terrific. So I feel like I've at least been in there a little bit.
Yeah. What's the best bit of what you do? You do so much. Acting, singing, dancing, cabaret, movies, television. What gives you the biggest kick? What do you like best?
Well, I think it all comes from acting. You know, it's like in the singing, I think at its best is acting with music. Acting is just making the words absolutely real. And even dancing is movement that's acted well. And that's why I always, in my songs, I always look for the lyrical content. If there's a woman I can understand, if there's something that I can relate to. It's why it's why I looked up the Pet Shop Boys.
Good, well...
Because of their words. Their words are fantastic.
Well, while you were here in April, you actually recorded a new album, didn't you?
Yes.
With them. So will you give us a song from it?
Really? All right.